Welcome, Crypto Fam, to the #1 Daily Bitcoin Pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as we're currently maintaining above $85,000. Also, breaking news, $138 billion Charles Schwab CEO confirms it will launch Bitcoin and crypto spot trading. Why this is massive, they literally have 37 million customers. We'll also be discussing the latest from the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Keiser, alongside his latest targets, as well as Trump firing Jay Powell would be a very bad precedent to set, according to Anthony Pompliano. And speaking of Trump, token holders of the Trump coin face 90% decline from peak as the unlocking begins. We'll also be discussing top Brazil official doubles down on his Bitcoin reserve plan as the game theory continues. Also, Cardano creator Hoskinson says these catalysts could catapult the preload biddy to $250,000 per coin before the end of this year, here in 2025. We'll also be discussing why Bitcoin is going up. Robert Kiyosaki is predicting Bitcoin to hit $1 million by this particular date. I'll be breaking this down for you. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this plus so much motherfucking and more, right here, Famalam, in today's live stream. What it do? Shout out everyone for holding it down. Happy Sat Stacking Saturday. By the way, a great time to be accumulating the biddy. You already know. Shout out our moderators in the blue. Greatly appreciate you. Oracle, DNA, and the rest of the Famalam. Of course, we got Fairground. DNA's watching at home. The greatest show on the tube. Right back at you, broski. Shout out Robert Colby. Shout out to the Sandman. And shout out to Nippy, the Nippinator, top dog in the building, former chairman of the SEC. There's a tri-stream live stream. You know the routine. We're going to be streaming for the next couple of hours. Nippinator indicator in full effect. You know how we do. And I'm going to go ahead and pin the stream at the top of the X profile. All comments and quotes will get reposted and shout it out in real time during the stream. Shout out Crypto Storm. An honor to have you here. Appreciate the like, Robert. Much appreciated. The stream is officially pinned on X. So again, if you guys can comment, quote, the live stream, all comments will get reposted and it'll help us ultimately hack the algorithm and get more eyeballs on the stream so we can orange pill the masses here on a Sat Stack and Saturday. Great time to do so. Shout out all the moderators. Shout out Tammy Hatcher. Good to have you here. Yo, Biddy JV and a Vam. Shout out to the Groovy Shoe. It's Remy No Limit watching from Strong Island, New York in the building. JV got the fresh cut. That's right. That's why there's no hat today, if you haven't figured that out. Every once in a blue moon, no cap. It's only because I got the fresh cut. And I'm trying to show off a little bit. But that's why. And if you don't know, now you know. And good to have everyone here. I got me a fresh cup of espresso. I just got back from the barber shop. I didn't even get a chance to hop in the shower. But I'm here. I'm going to be streaming for a couple of hours. I'll be sharing all the news, everything you need to know in the markets, of course. But yeah. So shout out Oracle again. Thank you for tagging everyone, letting people know we're live. And happy Easter in advance. Tomorrow's the big Easter Sunday, and I will be streaming on Easter Sunday. Just FYI, 4 p.m. Make note of it. Thank you, JC Ice, the greatest of all moderators right here. Make sure you're following her on X, JC Ice. Where are you at? Get in here and watch the #1 Bitcoin pod. Exactly. You know it's blasphemous to not watch my podcast every day? Literally. It's satanic. Ironic enough. It's like getting down with Katy Perry. You just don't do it. Fresh cut Easter. Exactly. We're celebrating Christ rising, right? So here we go. We're raising consciousness, I should say. We get the gong out. We strike the gong. This one's for Jesus. And by the way, every time we strike the gong, we're raising vibration and consciousness so you can tap into Christ consciousness, which we all are capable of tapping into at any moment. So I encourage you guys to tap into the Christ consciousness. That's how Nippinator became enlightened, by the way, no different than Buddha and all the greats and all the prophets. Nippinator loves the gong, and he's at the highest level. Nippinator ultimately reached Buddhahood and Christhood at a very young age when he was a pup. And he could have ascended along with all the rest of the legends, but he chose to stay down here on Earth and serve as your top dog Nippinator. So you got to give it up for the Nip. And if you don't know, now you know. True story. Gongs for Jesus. Exactly. And broskies, sometimes you got to hit the bong to tap into the Christ consciousness. One way or the other, we're tapping in. And there's no questions about it. Good morning, Biddy fam. Love from North Cali. It's time to rise. Amen. Pretty little Biddy going up forever, Laura. That's how we do. Definitely, for sure, I appreciate your videos. You're like the only one I watch live. I'm honored, Nash. That does mean a lot to me. So thank you for supporting us. And again, welcome everyone joining the live stream. It's a try stream. It's 4:10 here in Puerto Rico. We got Nipponator with the indicator. Sat Stack and Saturday. Espressoed up. I got caffeine in the canteen. And it's game time. And if you didn't know, Max just broke some breaking news. Coco Max is rumored to be making a hostile raid of Bean of Fire with intentions to create a Salvadoran beverage giant. And if you don't know, now you know. Shout out the high priest himself, Max Kaiser. Tristan Tate says, it has now dawned on me that I won't be selling a single Bitcoin until I'm at least 50, if ever. I have always said the Tates are smart. You know what I mean? Stacking BTC like Tate versus the BBC. Stacking the Biddy like BTC. Oh, geez. You feel me?
Oh my gosh, it's finally almost here. JV is going to talk to us. Crypto news is near. I can't stand waiting. There is no debating it. I waited all day, maybe I need a life. But Bitcoin is all I can think about day and night. Hurry, JV.
First and foremost, happy Easter in advance. Obviously, it's the holiday weekend. Tomorrow's the big day. I will be streaming on Easter Day. And happy Sat Stack and Saturday. A great opportunity to stack the Biddy at 85,000 per coin. We are in the green, and we've been maintaining above 85 thus far. This weekend, we'll see how we fare out. I'm going to be sharing all the latest news you need to know. Happy Easter from Jacksonville, Florida. Shout out all my Floridians. As you guys know, I moved to Puerto Rico from Pinellas County, which is Clearwater, Florida. Not exactly Jacksonville area, but nonetheless, got a lot of love for Florida. So shout out to the Florida fam. And again, welcome everyone just joining the live stream. I'm going to pop open the spin drift and let's get drifty, shall we? And we'll tap right into the news. If you're just joining us, welcome. Do you agree that Bitcoin bottom is 84? It's kind of sitting there. Well, I personally think we hit the bottom maybe a week ago whenever we tapped 74. So we're up virtually a God candle from the bottom. Is 85 the new bottom? I don't know. We could easily slide right back to 83. There's really no telling. I think we need to get above 90. And once we catapult above 90, we can plant our flag and ascend back to 100,000. Once we ascend above 100, I think the next logical target for price discovery, once it's achieved, which is 109.3, next leg up, in my humble opinion, is going to be in the 120 range, somewhere between 120 and 130. And I think we'll continue our ascension. I think we haven't seen nothing yet. There's some folks saying the top is in. We have until 2028 until we reach the next cycle peak. I disagree. I personally feel we haven't even scratched the surface yet this cycle, because all the previous halvings, the year preceding the halving, we have always ascended like 5x, 10x, 20x. I remember 2017. From 2016 to 2017 was a massive run up. That was when Bitcoin was sub 1,000 and ran all the way up to 20,000. And then just in March of 2020, after the Novid, Bitcoin dropped to like the 3-4 range. And then within 1 year, we were literally in March of 2021, we were at 60,000 and we 10x'd within a 12-month period. And the height, the cycle peak for the previous cycle was November of 2021. That's when we achieved the 69,000 level. So if history is to repeat, or if history is to rhyme, you can anticipate a $200,000 plus easy peasy target for this year of 2025, but you let me know your thoughts, and I'm going to pull up the live charts here in a bit and share with you the latest TA. Bitcoin 4-hour double bottom 74.6. That may be the final test or not. It takes 10 minutes to send a biddy from the Bitcoin protocol. Yeah, it can take some time when you send Bitcoin not using the Lightning Network and you're just using the base layer. It could take 10 minutes for the transaction to finalize. So It depends upon the network and how you sent it and where you're sending it from. There's some factors that go into that. Welcome, 2 years, and 2 more years, and counting the Bitcoin to be close to, whoa, 1 million years. Oh, do you mean you're holding Bitcoin for the next 1 million years? Cheers to that, Julie. Hallowed be thy name.
Oh, bring me up, bitty glow. Prize discovery, yeah, let it show. Bang, 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 like a B-52, we built a bitty
Stacked revolutionary love shack.
But anyways, fam, let's kick this mofo off. And again, welcome everyone and happy Sat Stackin' Saturday. If you're new to the YouTube channel, it's very important to smash the likes. It's mandatory. If you don't, it's virtually blasphemous. And go ahead, subscribe or the #1 daily Bitcoin pod, then ring the bell. Turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode 1967. It's the day before Easter. So happy Easter in advance, broskies. And I will be streaming on Easter Day. Make note of it. 4 p.m. Eastern, looking forward to it. But anyways, let's kick off today's show with our market watch, as we do each and every day. I guess it's important for me to share my screen then, isn't it? Give me 1 second, bitty broskies.
I'm stacking sats like it's Max and Stacy. Stacking sats cause tax is crazy. I'm stacking sats cause the IMF hates me. Stacking sats
cause the haters don't faze me. No Diddy, no Jay-Z. Stacking the bitty like it's Nipsey and JV. So as you can see on your screen on the market watch, via coin 360, pre-low bitty maintaining above 85,000 in the green, up 0.6% on the day. Even Ether is getting a warm piece of the sidewalk, trading back above 1,600, while XRP, BNB, and Cardano are correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at 2.69 trillion. Let me guess, Bitcoin market cap virtually 1.69 trillion for $1 trillion spread between crypto and Bitcoin market cap. 24-hour volume just shy of 46 billion, virtually down 0.5% on the day. Bitcoin dominance has been back on the climb, currently 62.9%. Ether dominance has bottomed at 7.2%. My question is, how high do you think the Bitcoin dominance will likely go for this cycle peak, and how low do you think that Ether dominance is likely to play out? Let me know. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. Core leading the pack, up 20%, followed by FET, up 9%, followed by the Trump coin, up 9%. And speaking of the official Trump meme coin, we got some updates regarding some unlocked coins being distributed, which you want to stick around for. But anyways, let me know which alts, if any, you're bullish on for the bull, and let me know. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day for the market here on Sat Stackin' Saturday. Safe to say 85% of the market pumping and in the green. Pump it up. And zooming out for the weekly, unfortunately, 85% of the market in the red. And for the month, bloodshed, wreck city. Only a handful in the green overall as the majority of the market is wrecked. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Today we're at 32 fear, yesterday at 33, last week at 43, and last month at 49. And checking out the time chain calendar. We're currently on block number 893,109. You can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,175 sats. So as I say each and every day, pick up the sats, especially on a Sat Stackin' Saturday. Put down those gats and pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. And if you don't know, now you know. And again, welcome everyone to the live stream. What to do? The haircut looks nice, JV. Thank you, Tammy. I greatly appreciate the feedback there. Lemon water today, JV, on my second cup of coffee. You're way behind. This is my second cup. I woke up early. So I woke up early today, and then an hour after being up, I had my first cup of joe. It was early a.m., and I just got back afternoon, had some lunch, and a great time to have round 2, but I'm sure you're still beating me. I probably have a lot of catching up to do. I don't think I'll ever be a whole coiner. Why do you say that, DNA? You got to have faith, because this is just how powerful our minds are, and the unconscious, which is in control. Check this. If you genuinely believe it's impossible to become a whole coiner, God is going to show you just how difficult or impossible it is. But just by shifting your focus and having hope and believing, you may not know how, it may seem impossible, but when you have faith, all the doors open up. It's like Jesus shows you the way through infinity. It's like you can do this way, you can do that way. But the key, you have to believe it's possible. That's like Bitcoin alchemy 101. That's just the law of attraction. If you don't genuinely believe something is possible, you'll never receive it. My father used to teach me, you must believe in order to receive. And it is very, very true. And you don't got to know the path. God will show you the path. Just know there is a way, Jedi. In fact, I have full faith DNA Noonan can become worth 10 Bitcoins. That's the type of faith I have in you, brother. And as long as you believe in yourself, the world is your oyster. I truly believe that. Not just making up some hokey pokey. That's just how the world works. You feel me? JV looking sharp. Thank you, Oracle. I appreciate that. Like a razor blade. We get down with the Razorbacks. Arkansas style. OG Back Row Crypto Bootleg, what it do? Bitcoin dominance on a steady rise since early December 2024. Bitcoin exchange reserves all-time low. Bitcoin mining difficulty 123.23 equal to the all-time high. Something's got to give. Like the Bitcoin price going up forever, Laura. Precisely. Nice. That's the way to do it, brother. John 11:5-26. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me shall never die. Very powerful words. Thank you for sharing that, Tammy. Shout out Nippinator, the one and only top dog. I am not sure, but I subbed to Chandy10, but I cannot find the channel. Unfortunately, I hate to break the news to you, but she deleted her YouTube channel. It's just the algorithm has had her shadow banned and her videos were receiving virtually no love. So she's just like, screw it, screw YouTube. And I can't blame her. I feel similar some days myself. Yeah, I mean, as I've been shadow banned for the past 10 years. Welcome to censorship. That's why we also stream on Rumble and X. But here's the silver lining, the good news. You can still find Chandy over on X, and congratulations if you're watching Chandy10. She just surpassed 1,000 followers on X. So well done. And make sure you guys are all following her. And yeah, it is complete BS. What are we going to do? But there you have it. Let me get another sip of the espresso and we'll dive into some TA, broskies.
Cause the haters don't faze me. No Diddy, no Jay-Z. Stacking the biddy like it's Nipsey and JV. Stacking the biddy like it's paper and Chandy. Stacking BTC like caffeine in my canteen. Life is a game of chess.
That makes biddies the damn queen. Anyways, but yeah, here's our TA for the day. And again, I'll pull up the live charts as I always do, but the headline reads, Bitcoin can reach 138,000 in the next 90 days as macro odds see the biddy price upside. All I got to say is send it. That's right. Bitcoin navigating highly unusual macroeconomic conditions as a result of the ongoing U.S. trade war. But history still offers a clue as to where the Bitcoin price action may head next. For Peterson, the U.S. high yield index effective yield is currently at 8. So holding is the key. He says this has happened 38 times since 2010, according to the monthly data. 3 months later, Bitcoin was up 71% of the time. The median gain was 31%. If it went lower, the worst loss was negative 16%. So with Bitcoin USD performance thus skewed to the upside, Peterson gave hope to those waiting for a rematch of all-time highs from January. Quoting him here, this likely puts the biddy between 75 and 138,000 within 90 days. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Bitcoin would need to deliver 62% gains within that period to achieve the maximum level. Peterson also has he's a contributor, to Cointelegraph, and he's ultimately an analyst, but one of his proprietary tools called the lowest price forward, which gives a 95% chance of a $69,000 floor in March. And so we'll see if that comes to fruition. And turning his attention to the dramatic drop of the US dollar index, known as the DXY, thanks to the US trade tariffs, he predicted that it is unusual. Positive correlation for Bitcoin would ultimately end. Quoting him here, this level of the Bitcoin USD correlation is unprecedented. The relationship is not casual, but reflective of underlying conditions affecting both. Historically inverse, the relationship flipped in 2024 as both assets began responding to the same macro stressors, tightening liquidity, high real rates, and global risk aversion. Bitcoin will decouple and rise when the real yields drop, plus the liquidity returns. Meanwhile, DXY continued to stay below the key 100 mark on April 18th. And reflecting some of its lowest levels over the past 3 years. And earlier, separate analysis saw the potential for Bitcoin to directly benefit from the dollar's weakness in a manner similar to the early innings of the bull run in 2023. Can you say deja vu? And before I pull up some of the charts, also breaking news just in, $138 billion Charles Schwab CEO confirms it'll launch Bitcoin and crypto spot trading. This is massive because they literally have 37 million customers. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser, as predicted, tariff tantrum didn't work. So the US will return to form and print a fresh $50 to $60 trillion cash and new fiat garbage USD. Note, the urgency to buy Bitcoin or issue bit bonds has faded. Trump doesn't understand Bitcoin. 220,000 in play. And in another post regarding here, Trump going after Jay Powell, there's been a lot of rumors that Trump was going to fire him, but my understanding is Trump doesn't have the power to fire Jay Powell. But so Max wrote, Powell is trying to defend the US dollar with the higher rates, as the Fed should be doing. Trump wants to trash the US dollar with the lower rates and more debt. Bitcoin 220,000 in play. And let me know when you feel this prediction will likely come into fruition. Holla at your boy. And I promise to pull up some of the charts. Let's do that really quick, bitty broskies. You should be able to see live on your screen, live chart action Jackson. This is the Coinbase chart via TradingView, the 1 hour we're looking at. We do have a rectangular formation, a couple of bear scenarios floating at just above 88,000, a couple of bear scenarios, one at 80,600 and one at 78,500, and we'll work our way backwards. Checking out the 4 hour chart. As you can see here, we had a big drop after that rectangle formation, but we have been recovering. Rising wedge currently underway. Big green bullish candles here and there. But anyways, we do have a bottom target, actually quite a few here, floating at around the 80,000 range. Zooming out a little further, we'll take a look at a daily chart. The daily chart shows us we're going up forever, JV. We unfortunately have a falling wedge, but the silver lining is ultimately 111,000 in play on the daily chart, which is significant, as this would take us back to price discovery, which was achieved all the way back in January. On Inauguration Day is when we hit the current all-time high of 109.3, so it would take us a couple of thousand above. Bear scenario on the daily is just shy of 69. Let me know if you guys think that bottom is in at 74. And then we have a super bear sitting at 49, and we'll now check out a weekly. And tomorrow we do get the weekly close, obviously on Sunday at around 6 p.m. But obviously last week was finally a green weekly candle close, which was nice considering the 2 weeks prior to that we're in the red. And thus far, if things continue or maintain where they're at, we will likely get a green candle close around this time tomorrow. But we also still have the sexy cup and handle target in play on the weekly chart, sitting at 124,000. Let me know when you feel we'll likely reach this target, and we'll check out one more time frame for the monthly. And as you can see, thus far, the month of April has been green, but again, we're still early. We've got another 11 or so days to go. Past couple of months, we closed in the red, unfortunately, so hopefully the bullish momentum can continue here in Q2 now that we have put a bow on Q1. And if you don't know, now you know. And again, welcome everyone to the live stream. Y'all better be shorting these tariffs. It is insanity. If you're hoping to get rich quick, which might happen with Bitcoin, you're delusional. That said, it represents the most volatile asset class ever. Hold fast, pirates, and you shall be rewarded. Won't lie, I'm not computer savvy trying to look for ya. Do you have a link? If not, I'll do my best. Not sure which link you're requesting there, but I'm sure the mods can hook it up. It takes an act of Congress to unappoint or reappoint the Fed chair, so hence Trump doesn't have the power to do it. It would have to get done by Congress. And if you don't know, now you know. Welcome everyone to the live stream. 700 people here. I'm going to go ahead and start reposting comments and quotes on X, and we shall continue. Keep the comments flowing.
That makes biddies the damn queen, stacking BTC till they cancel me and I can't stream like Biggie. It was all a dream. Now the biddy has set me free.
Going, let's biddy up, babe. Bang, bang on the door, baby, never let it fade. Auto house strong, yeah, we built it this way. No one to hold 'em, yeah, we're holding, never folding.
I've always been a rapper, honky cracker, but now I'm a pastor, Bitcoin stacker. Now I'm a master of the Bitcoin standard. Hit 'em up faster than the Bitcoin panda. You can't touch me with your shitcoin flow. Like, do you even Bitcoin, bro? Let me know. Welcome to the Bitcoin show. Now listen up closely, low-key, stacking BTC like Satoshis. In El Salvador with my Bitcoin broskies, raising up the biddy like Gohan. Living in a hollow house, we're not the pawns.
Going, let's biddy up, babe. Bang, bang on the door, baby, never let it fade. Auto house strong, yeah, we built it this way. No one to hold
Bitcoin's dripping like a new Scottie Pippen 80 G's.
We're royalty,
Biddy kings and queens,
man.
manifesting the kingdom that's finally come, playing chess moves. Checkmate, we won. We're raising the roof in El Salvador.
Freedom flows, IMF
Can't hold us no more.
Stacking BTC like Tate versus the BBC. Stacking the biddy like BTC OGs. Stacking BTC on
Lightning with no fees.
Stacking BTC like
Snoop Dogg rolls weed.
Stacking
Like Scarface with a nosebleed. I'm like Shinobi. Nobody knows me. Bring it. Welcome, everyone. Shout out Chandy. Appreciate all the comments and quotes. I think I just got everyone literally reposted. Let's continue to blow up the stream. Hack the algorithm and take over the world. The orange pill in the masses. Raising vibration one gong strike at a time, Biddy Broskies. I got a short at 88.5. I'm going to get blown out the water. Jeez, you got some balls. I'll give you that. There's a direct link to Chandy 10 on X, fam, for those of you asking how you can find her music and her content. And congrats, Chandy. I saw you surpassed 1,000 followers on X, which is a big deal. So massive shout out. You guys all make sure you're following Chandy 10 for the #1 Bitcoin music, hands down. And many of the songs that we play on the stream, there's phenomenal music videos that go alongside. So if you don't know now, you know. But anyways, let's continue with the news, shall we? Headline here says, Trump firing Jay Powell would be a very bad precedent to set. According to Anthony Pompliano, that's right, Pompliano says that the U.S. President Trumpster shouldn't follow through on his recent threat to fire the head of the U.S. Fed, saying it could set a dangerous precedent, especially considering the true motive behind it, quoting Pomp. I do not believe that the President of the U.S. should come in and unilaterally fire the Fed president. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. Where you have a disagreement and then the firing, I think that's not really the area that we want to go into. The idea of firing the Fed chairman is a very bad precedent to set this way. It comes after Trump took to social media platform Truth Social to accuse Jay Powell of being too slow to cut the interest rates, quoting him here. Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. Again, let me know if you agree or disagree with the Trumpster. Pompliano explained that while the Fed is meant to operate independently, he agrees with the critics who argue it is not truly independent. Quoting him again, the Fed, I think, is highly politicized, even though they pretend not to be. Agreed. Pompliano acknowledged his own criticism of the Fed, saying he is not exactly a fan, but emphasized that even if the Fed has made mistakes, responding in kind isn't the right approach. I still think that just because somebody else is doing something wrong doesn't mean that you should do something wrong. Ultimately, two wrongs don't make it right. U.S. Senator Warren made some interesting comments, warning that if Trump eventually moves to fire Powell, it could undermine investor confidence in the integrity of the U.S. capital markets and trigger a financial crash. Now, we all despise Senator Warren, a.k.a. Pocahontas, so it makes me feel like if it's something she doesn't want, it's probably good. But what do I know? It's like inverse Kramer, we inverse her as well. Quoting her here from CNBC. A big part of our economy strong, and a big part of the world's economy strong, is the idea that the big pieces move independently of politics. I don't know if you agree with that. Lower interest rates often lead to increased liquidity, which has historically led to the higher prices of perceived riskier assets like the biddy. It comes not long after Jay Powell said establishing stablecoins legal framework was a good idea. In an April 16th panel at the Economic Club of Shaw City, Shaw Town, where you at, Shaw Rack, Powell said the climate is changing and you're moving into more mainstreaming of the whole sector. So Congress is again looking at a legal framework for stablecoins. So I just ultimately want to know in the comment section, do you agree with Trump that Jay Powell should hit the road jack like Gary Gensler had to do? Or do you think it's good for our economy to, for him to do what he's currently doing? I guess, give me your opinion and I'll read it out loud. Jay Powell is bad for the USA, says Oracle. So there you have it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Fed personally. I know they're up to no good. Because there's no congressional oversight over the Fed, is there? Correct me if I'm wrong. But they've never been audited, probably like the IRS. Probably like Fort Knox hasn't been audited in like 60 years. There is no one that wants JP's job. He's stuck, by the way, at a rock and a hard place. U.S. debt, unemployment rising, inflation. Maybe Trump's just pointing the finger at him because it's making Trump look bad. and he has to do what he has. I don't know. Or maybe they're all in on it. It's like, yeah, just blame me and we'll create some controversy in the headlines. Honestly, I don't know. U.S. debt's 36 trillion, unemployment rising, inflation numbers. Because again, I have a lot of faith in Max because he understands economies and financial markets very well. And I'm going to repeat to you what he said earlier. He says Powell is trying to defend the U.S. dollar with higher rates, as the Fed should be doing. So Kaiser says he's doing the right thing, Jay Powell. He says Trump wants to trash the U.S. dollar with lower rates and more debt. A Bitcoin 220,000 in play. So yeah, let me know if you agree or disagree with Max Kaiser on that one. Meaning, is Jay Powell good for the dollar or bad? The only way Jay Powell goes is when Larry pushes him. The Finkster, eh? The Finkmeister. There is no one that apparently. Nippinator might take Jay Powell's place, is all I got to say. He's free. He's no longer your chairman of the SEC. Ain't that right, Nippinator? Top dog. Come here, top doggy. There's only one Nippinator. Never forget it. The Bitnator could see Powell off. We shall soon find out. As they say, as the saying goes, fuck around, find out. Tariffs on tariffs on tariffs. Blessings on blessings on blessings. Happy Easter, broskies. Being a businessman does not make you an economist. There you go, Greg. Let me tell you something. Trump pissed Europe, cut rates, and JP did not. But anyways, fam, keep the comments flowing. But let's dive into our next story of the day, shall we? Speaking of the Trumpster, this headline caught my attention. Trump token holders face 90% decline from the peak as unlock begins. That's right. From the peak all-time high after the Trump token launch, the meme coin on the Solana network, it's literally lost 90% of its value, and now they're unlocking tokens, which means even though we're having a little tiny pump today, check it. Trump token holders face steep losses as the first vesting unlock goes live yesterday, April 18th, releasing 40 million tokens worth roughly $309 million into circulation at a 90% discount from the peak. The unlocked tokens account for 20% of the current circulating supply and could introduce fresh volatility as previously illiquid portion of the supply hits the market. And according to CoinGecko, the Trump token price has fluctuated between $7.46 and $7.83 in the past 24 hours. April 18th marks the first unlock event for the Trump token. Let me know if any of you were impacted by that and invested in Trump's meme coin. I'm curious. With steady smaller unlocks following that date, the Trump token is now down 89.5% from the all-time high, $73.43 recorded January 19th. Ironic enough, that was the day before the Bitcoin all-time high, the day before Trump's inauguration. Crazy, right? And then I think a couple of days later they launched, or maybe even the next day, it was the Melania coin. Can't make this ish up, huh, fam? The token's value collapsed in the weeks following its debut, at over 800,000 wallets suffering a total $2 billion in losses. According to estimates from blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis, gains or losses are only realized upon sale, meaning holders won't incur actual losses until they actually choose to sell their tokens. According to the token site, the unlocked tokens will belong to the creators and CIC Digital LLC. So let's dive a little deeper. Who exactly owns the Trump token supply? Well, according to their own website, two organizations affiliated with Trump's business umbrella own 80% of the token supply. That's CIC Digital, yikes, not a good look, and Fight LLC. A report from MarketWatch notes CIC Digital, an affiliate of the Trump organization, placed in a trust by the time of Trump's 2024 financial disclosures to the U.S. Federal Election Commission. CIC Digital had previously been linked to Trump's NFT collections. Fight is another Trump-affiliated business. It's co-owned by CIC, so CIC really owns both. And another company, Celebration Cards LLC, which was formed in Wyoming by Andrew Pierce. Fight LLC is synonymous with the Trump slogan, fight, which he shouted into the camera during an alleged assassination attempt during the campaign rally. The April 18th unlock represents a cliff, a large one-time release of the tokens. While there are other cliff unlocks ahead, many tokens will be released at a steadier pace, for example, between April 19th and the 21st. So that's this coming week, family. So be on the lookout for the price action of this Trump coin, as it will most likely be extremely volatile, with 493,000 tokens unlocking daily, according to Drops Tab. And if you don't know, now you know, broskies. Welcome. Visit the website and leave a connect. My Garden Dude LLC. What is this? I'm down 70% on my $5. Are you telling me you put $5 into the Trump coin? Robinhood on the release of the Trump coin. There is only one. Keep your scam ERC20 spinoffs, altcoin, shitcoin memes to yourself. And I commonly get asked, but JV, we all understand Bitcoin's the best, but what's the second best?
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, I thought I had a funny response earlier to some news story. This is actually peak degeneracy. Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips racing to become the first women to have sex in space following the Blue Origin trip. So naturally, my comment is, who's going to explain to them that space isn't real? And it's actually kind of ironic. I posted this a few days back, and I just reposted it again today in the comment just to troll. But Tyler or Cameron Winklevoss just posted that, which goes to show you another billionaire who believes we faked going to space. You know what I mean? Oftentimes, the billionaires are sellouts that sold their souls, so they have to pretend that space is real, like Elon Musk. But so shout out to the Winklevoss twins. I mean, you got to respect that. Not many top-notch influencers are willing to challenge the status quo like that. Some people would say, that's blasphemy, JV. Of course we went to the moon. There's no way, you conspiracy tinfoil hat mother... You know what I mean? Some people think like this. So I just thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, who's going to break it down to the porn stars? You're not going to have sex in space. I'm sorry. Anyways, there is no second best, precisely.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
Do you know what forever means? Strategies is building a Bitcoin bank targeting $500 trillion market. Max responded to this news. This is how they can perpetually pay interest on their continuing issuance and preferred debts. So there you have it. The biggest Bitcoin bank in the world is going to be owned by Michael Saylor, and they're tapping into a $500 trillion market. Keep in mind the current Bitcoin market cap is only like, what, 1.6 trillion or something like that. So we got another 500x to go from here, bitty broskies. It is blasphemous, Moon Girl. It's totally. Only 0.1 coin or one coin to rule them all. And there is no second best. Precisely. Well said. Shout out KZY Crypto. Again, all comments and quotes on X on the live stream get reposted and shouted out. And it's how we hack the algorithm and get thousands of people on the stream. Thank you, Oracle. Another comment I just got to repost. Of course, Chandy's always doing her thing. Thank you so much. You're the greatest. Repost. And everyone's loving the new videos, by the way. Can't Tariff Bitcoin, banger. And of course, the Bitcoin Army track, fire. Keep them coming. And yeah, I'm going to repost everyone from the BTC News Alerts account. We'll continue with the news. Happy SaaStack and Saturday.
BTC like Scarface with a nosebleed. Stacking BTC like Shinobi, nobody knows me. Stacking BTC like everyone owes me. Stacking BTC like Max and John McAfee. Stacking BTC, accumulating stats so rapidly, so happily. Stacking BTC so casually, no casualties. The galaxies around Earth fallacies. Stacking BTC on a flat Earth with no gravity. Stacking BTC cause Bitcoin is your majesty.
Happy 444, por favor. It is 4:44. Game time. Welcome to the Bitcoin Show, mofos. We got FOMO like a mofo for shizzle. All right, next story, fam. Welcome, everyone. Don't forget, it is live and interactive, but to interact in the live chat, you got to visit the YouTube channel because the commenting comes from the YouTube channel. So though we have 900 people collectively watching the stream on X, Rumble, and YouTube, in order to comment, go to the YouTube channel, cryptonewsalerts.net. And very important to subscribe, because if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel,
they not like us. They not like us.
And you don't want to not be like us. Welcome to the Bitcoin show, fam. But anyways, next story of the day. Let's break her down. We discussed the Trumpster coin. Now let's discuss the big news coming out of Brazil. I believe it's the largest population in South America. Over 200 million people. So this is a big deal. Top Brazil official doubles down on the pretty little bitty reserve plan. That's right, Pedro Guerrera. Shout out to the OG, the chief of staff to the vice president Geraldo Alckmin, has reaffirmed that he intends to press ahead of the idea of adding Bitcoin to Brazil's sovereign reserves. That's right, the Trump put, bring it, arguing the country can no longer afford to ignore the most rigorously stress-tested monetary network on the planet. Can I get an amen? Hallelujah. The proposal first surfaced late last month when Guerrera deviated from the prepared address at the inauguration of the Parliamentary Competitive Brazil Front. In that speech, he urged the lawmakers to study the bitty with some seriousness. We bring to the fiscal fireworks and tax reform, a call that ricocheted through Brazil and the broader crypto sector. That's right. Speaking with the economist and author Fernando, in a one-hour interview, the political aide expanded on the rationale behind the initiative and dismissed suggestions that the idea was a publicity ploy. We're not talking about a hypothetical experiment. Bitcoin has survived 16 years of open source adversarial testing. Can I get an amen? And if the United States Treasury can hold confiscated biddies and publicly debate how to manage it, Brazil, a G20 economy with a sophisticated payment stack, must at least evaluate whether a strategic allocation makes sense. Amen to that. Well said. Guerrera's advocacy dovetails with the bill from the 2024 Congressman Eros Birandini, which would authorize the Central Bank of Brazil, the National Treasury, to accumulate the pretty little bitty alongside gold and foreign currency. The text has yet to reach the committee, but Guerrera calls it a very important first step that will democratize the debate that ultimately concerns every single Brazilian. The long-term purchasing power of our money. Good point, yo. He stressed that any reserve strategy would need a clear governance framework. Who custodies the keys? What disclosure cadence? What risk metrics? But argued that Brazil's post-hyperinflation institutions are mature enough to handle the task. The central bank's track record with PIX instant payments and the ongoing wholesale CBDC pilot, Drex, proves that the state can deliver complex digital infrastructure, he said, though he was careful to draw sharp boundaries between the CBDCs, altcoins, and Bitcoin itself. It sounds like he put in a little research here. I dig it. Quoting him again, 3 confusions dominate in Brazil. First, lumping Bitcoin together with other crypto assets. Thank you. Second, equating it to Drex. I don't even know what the hell a Drex is, but you guys enlighten me. Third, reducing it to just blockchain. They are 3 entirely different animals altogether. Just like Nipsey, Top Dog Nippinator. For Guerrera, the macro case is straightforward. Brazil's public investment gap is widening, even as its dollar reserves earn negative yields. And a hard cap digital asset can serve as an intergenerational store value akin to a sovereign wealth fund. If we are proud of hosting COP30 and speaking of future stewardship, preserving purchasing power for the next generation is part of that duty, he said, pointing to Bitcoin's 21 million unit limit and censorship-resistant settlement layer. That's right. Going to ever be 21 million biddies in existence. Ulrich, who endured the country's 1980s hyperinflation, concurred that ignorance of basic monetary mechanics plagues policymaking. Guerrera agreed, recalling that in the last 2 decades of the party work, everyone talks fiscal adjustment, but no one asks, what is money? It reminds me of the government school system. We're never taught what money is or where it comes from. He cited former central bank president Gustavo Franco. Currency is a national symbol. It must have purchasing power. To underline that reserve debates are as much about identity as the spreadsheets. So inside the government, Guerrera says reactions have been surprisingly positive while acknowledging the silent skeptics. He reported encouragement from economists and civil servants intrigued by the fiscal diversification angle. Criticism has focused less on principle than on implementation questions. questions, especially custody. Guerrera insists those technicalities are solvable. The benefits of even a modest pilot position outweigh the complications. I couldn't agree more there. Meanwhile, the chief of staff plans to brief Vice President Alckmin and relevant cabinet members in the coming weeks after the government may submit comments on the Bedini bill or propose an alternative framework. In parallel, Guerrero is encouraging think tanks to model optimal position size relative to Brazil's 350 billion reserve portfolio. So you run the math. If Brazil's sitting on 350 billion in their strategic reserve, how much of that should they acquire with Bitcoin? You holla. Let me know, and I'll read your comments out loud, and then we'll dive into our bullishness for the day, which is a 250,000 projection this year for the Biddy, and then we'll discuss a more longer-term $1 million price projection as per rich dad author, the one and only Robert Kiyosaki. And if you don't know now, you know. When is Trump, Elon going through Fort Knox? What will happen first? Will man finally make it to the moon, or will they audit Fort Knox? I'm skeptical at this point. I don't think they're ever going to audit it. Maybe it's still going to take them a few more months to rebring all the gold that was taken out of Fort Knox into it so they can pretend it never left. Who knows what kind of shenanigans is going on at Fort Knox? Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to audit the auditors when they least expect it. Yeah, I mean, it's like, why would you even give them a heads up or speak headlines internationally like we should audit Fort Knox? That just gives the criminals time to find time to fix whatever is probably going wrong in there to begin with. Yeah, I mean, it's like if you want to pick up someone with a warrant, you don't tell the guy, like, yo, there's a warrant for your arrest. Just sit right there at the restaurant. We'll be there to lock you up in jail for the next 20 years. No, you just surprise that mofo. You get a tip from the tip hotline. You pick up the criminal when they least expect it. That's how the audit should work. We got to audit the audit. Audit the audit of the audit of the audit. Hold everyone accountable. They're going to hold us accountable to pay these tarred taxes. Let's hold them accountable. You know what I mean? Where's all the money? Show me the money. I'm like a young Jerry Maguire in this bitch. Show me the Quan. Brazil in the building. Shout out F-150. What to do? And again, welcome everyone joining us. 1,100 people on the stream. Not too shabby. Still very much rookie numbers, but it is what it is. It's holiday weekend and all. Stat. I'm definitely getting one. Stacking the Biddy. Oh, yeah. You guys saw Chandy Pink featured cap on bitcoincaps.net? Get your very own. Fantastic. Or as I say, fantastical. Looks like we got 21 hearts. Whoever's the next one to heart the stream on X, that's a blackjack. I'll hit the gong for you. Cheers. It'll be an empty bunker. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Or was an empty bunker. By the time they actually audit it, they'll have the fool's gold there to fool the cameras. Probably. I sold my flat in September and bought the Biddy. Congrats. And more importantly, when is Trump and Elon going to space? Probably the porn stars will make it there first. Because the porn stars are such airheads. Well, not all porn stars, but probably these women who are sleeping with thousands of men per week or whatever they're claiming. I don't know. I don't keep up with it all. But I like to believe that they're stupid enough where they'll actually believe they're in space. And they'll probably just be in some like anti-gravity machine floating. And they're like, wow, we did it. We went to space with Katy Perry and had an orgy. This is a big victory for women. Not, but in our crazy world, you just never know how far they'll go. You know what I mean? If they go through such great lengths to deceive you, you can only imagine what the truth is. You feel me? 225,000 bear scenario. 1 million cycle peak. Wa-ta-ta-ta-ta. Exactly. Send it, Oracle. I'm so ready. Mom spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface, Nips looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd just goes so loud, he opens the mouth. The words don't come out. Hello, mods. Love from the capital of DC. Shout out, Mr. Corvette. This gong strikes for you, brother. It's good to have you here on a Sat Stack and Saturday. I've always been a rapper honky cracker, but now I'm a pastor, Bitcoin stacker, I'm a master of the Bitcoin standard, hitting them up faster than the Bitcoin panda. I don't see how any woman would let herself be run through that much. She must be making millions, I hope. I have no idea. But that's her mission, I guess, is to have, SEX with as many men's as humanly possible and breaking the world records. To each their own. I'll never understand that either. But very interesting. Evening, JV and the fam from Scotland. Shout out Mark Wardlaw. Bang the gong, brother. Want to get one of those for my kid's birthday. Get it up. I highly recommend it. Let's see. Cause sounds great, but want to see what it looked like. Yo, first and foremost, this is the #1 recommended gong you'll find, at least on Amazon. Got the best ratings, and it's like a legit instrument. This isn't like the cheap $20 gong. I'm guessing it's $300 or something, but it's actually legit. This one's made for the desk, and they sell all different types of sizes, but this brand is like the gold standard of gongs. It's really good. I prefer the gong with no branding on it, but the reviews were that good where I'm just like, I don't care. Put the Chinese name on it. It's all good. But highly recommend it. Get some different strikers. The smaller striker it comes with is cheap, but the gong itself is not cheap. It's a really good, like, handmade gong from steel or whatever they used to make it. And this is what it sounds like. One strike, we reach Christ consciousness. So Christ is here with us all present today, thanks to the gong. Because we are consciousness, and we all share consciousness. And to raise the consciousness, you use frequencies. And that sound is godly, and I'm not exaggerating. Sometimes, if I'm meditating, I just think of the sound of the gong and the vibration that resonates through your body from hearing it. And you can just instantly relive as if you're actually striking the gong just from the unconscious memory of hearing the gong. And there's a strategic purpose outside of entertainment, and which is why I have it on my desk, is because the more often I strike it, we're raising each other's consciousness, and it works literally through the stream. If you have headphones on or if you got the volume turned up and you hear that gong strike, I bet you can hear it and feel it, those vibrations. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I dig it. You're very welcome. I think your son will love it. And then your son can just strike that all day and enlighten his parents and be like, whop. Did you ever wonder why they removed all the bells? Yes, because it's healing frequencies and it raises our consciousness. So if you are the forces of evil, you would, hey, how can I control the masses? How can I keep them enslaved? One way to do so would be to destroy all the bells, you know what I mean? And change all the frequencies, in which they did with music and stuff like that, to keep people's vibration down so that Satan could rule over them ultimately. Because if you raise your consciousness, there's nothing the forces of evil can do, because you're tapping into God or Christ consciousness. I genuinely believe that. Vibration is everything. We are vibration. We are energy. Energy is everything. E equals MC squared. But yeah, so that was all done deliberately to suppress our consciousness and take away our tools for achieving the Christ consciousness. What are other tools to achieve Christ consciousness? Plant medicine. You ever heard of cannabis? Happy 420, broskies. What's another one? Psilocybin mushroom. Terence McKenna used to refer to as the psilocybin as God's little helpers. Then we have a plant medicine called ayahuasca, right? Which they figured out in the jungles of the Amazon, that if they mix these two plants together, holy moly, and then peyote, and the list goes on and on. These are all God's tools that he provided, or she, whatever you want to refer to God as, to basically be able to access that consciousness. So vibration is one way to do it, and through plant medicine is another way to do it. Meditation is another way to do it. Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, any breathing, ancient exercises or arts can help do that as well. You can raise your vibration by changing your breathing. You know what I mean? He is going to be 22 years old. 11-11, baby. but he is into the right things, not like us older folk. That's what's up. A shout out to your little one. And again, welcome everyone joining the live stream. We just smashed 1,200 people on the stream. It's already 5 o'clock. Time's flying. So let's dive into our next story of the day, shall we? And welcome everyone joining the live stream. Happy Stacking Saturday. Cardano creator Mr. Hoskinson says these are the catalysts which will and shall catapult the pretty little bitty to 250,000 per coin by the end of this year. Let's break her down, baby. Charles Hoskinson is leaning bullish on the biddy. Usually he's fudding the biddy, so this is him in rare form. In a CNBC interview, Hoskinson says that Bitcoin is not headed towards another crypto winter or downturn. According to the Cardano creator, Bitcoin is primed to go up forever Laura by approximately 196% from the current level over the coming months. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Quoting him here, I think Bitcoin will be over 250,000 by the end of this year or next year. Hoskinson says that the Bitcoin rally will be driven by an improved regulatory environment, the easing of the monetary policy, and the fall in global trade tensions. Quoting him again. What will happen is that the tariff stuff will be a dud, and then people will realize that the world is willing to negotiate, and it is really just us versus China. And a lot of the people will side with us. Some people will side with China. The markets will stabilize a little bit, and then they will get used to the new normal, and then the Federal Reserve will lower the interest rates, and then you'll have a lot of fast, cheap money printer go burr, and then it will pour into the crypto because it will get reignited by the market structure bill and the Magnificent Seven, which is Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, Nvidia, and Tesla entering, and the stablecoin bill. And then you will have a huge wave of speculative interest come probably August or September into the markets. And that will carry through for probably another 6 to 12 months. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And according to Hoskinson, the Fed will have room to ease in the monetary policy over the coming months despite the ongoing tariffs. Quoting him again. It is not intrinsically clear how the inflationary, the tariffs will become. There was the MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology report that came out. I think it was from the first Trump admin, where they looked at the 2018 tariffs. And even though there was a 10 and 25%, depending upon the nature of the tariff, the real inflation was only 0.7%. Now, I don't believe the true inflation was ever 0.7% in my lifetime, for Christ's sake, with the true inflation probably being closer to 20 or 30%. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts. Pretty little bitty going up forever, Laura. And do you agree with Mr. Hoskinson? 250 by the end of the year. My personal target, I know you've heard it before. I'll say it again. I think bear scenario, this cycle peak this year, 222,000, pretty much in alignment with Huskinson. And bull scenario, 1.1 mil base scenario, 420 for the broskies. And if you don't know now, you know. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Cardano, ADA, an acronym for another dead alt. Pretty good. That's why she's my ex. I couldn't stand it to sit there and watch her live that way, so I left her. Whoa. What asset has outpaced the Magnificent Seven in the past 22 years by 24%? MicroStrategy? RIP, hey, shout out Darth Melda. Good to have you here. Hit the likes. We need the boots. This mofo. Give it up for Nibbinator and JV. JV and the Nibbinator. Nibbinator going crazy here. That's right. We're going crazy. The sooner this tariff rubbish is done, the normality will return. So we'll have the normal clown world. Is that what you're saying? Thank you again, Chandy. JV live with the bitty news and the entertainment. Give them a follow. Thank you. Thanks again, Mr. Corvette. And the rest of the fam. Much appreciated. I think reposted everyone. Should be good. And our next story is our feature story, the latest from Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. So spread the likes. Spread the love. Let me tell you something. I'm going to go repost you guys from my BTC News Alerts account real quick, and we'll continue. Okay. Note Bitcoin has outpaced the Mag 7 by 20. Oh, wow. So Bitcoin's even outpaced the Mag 7. Doesn't sound so magnificent now, doesn't it? Does it? But, stonks. Well, here's a fact. Not a single stock in the history of the stock market has ever outpaced Bitcoin over the course of the past 16 years. Bitcoin's up, what is it, Greg? 170 million%? Ballpark? Not too shabby. Shabba-labby. Ooh, Kaiser reminds us tomorrow's an important day. Sailor Orange Dot Day. He always posts a Sailor tracker the day before he makes the announcement, which, virtually, I think maybe out of the last 14 weeks, he's done that for 13 weeks. So most likely going to post another one. Sailor wrote an hour ago, Bitcoin has no counterparty risk, no company, no country, no creditor, no currency, no competitor, no culture, not even chaos. Shit, I thought Bitcoin was the chaos. What do I know? Shout out the Giga Chad and Max Kaiser, the high priest, the true OGs of OGs. Max also wrote 10 minutes ago. I'm just scrolling down my timeline to give you the latest. The only thing stopping the U.S. from doing this is a reluctance to throw the U.S. dollar under the bus while increasing the value of Russia and China's gold reserves in response to Cynthia Lummis saying if the U.S. government buys Bitcoin with gold certificates currently held on the books at their 1974 value, we'll be able to cut our debt in half in 20 years. That's very powerful. Cynthia says we don't have to spend the new taxpayer dollars to buy Bitcoin. Very well said. Just reposted that one. Bring it, baby. But anyways, wow, y'all remember American Gladiators? I used to love that show as a kid. I remember being 5 years old watching this. Whatever happened to that show? Remember, you have to compete against the gladiators. But anyways, welcome again, anyone joining us. We're about to dive into our feature story. Had to put the new clothes in the washer for the first time. Excellent. I am back again. Guess who's back? Nippy's friend. JV's back. I've created a monster. Anyways, we are still maintaining above 85. A little pumpy pump. Not too shabby. American Gladiators on Vice, like the old school ones, or did they like rehash it and they still make new ones? But yeah, I remember that. In my honest opinion, Bitcoin should be trading well above 100 right now. What is holding it down? I don't know. But once it crack-a-lacks the 108-ish, all-time high will run hard. Cheers to that. Let's run hard, shall we? Bretskis. Let me tell you something. Yep, my prediction's 200 to 350 bearish compared to you and Max, but not bad. Yeah, you'll be at our level sometime, but not too bad. Even the bear scenario, game on. Yeah, I mean, quite the rise from the current levels. Nothing beats the 90s gladiators. Exactly, we're old school. Your hair looks good. Thank you, Chandy. I just got the fresh cut, the fresh fade. I'm faded. But anyways, all right, next story. You guys ready? Mom spaghetti? Nervous? Tell me the truth. All right. Enough gassing you guys up. I think you're ready. All right. Now for our feature story of the day. Here's why Bitcoin's going to continue to go up to $1 million per coin. And in fact, Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki shares his time frame with you and when he believes the Bitcoin price action will likely hit this coveted mark. And let's start with the recent post he shared on X. I'm going to read it to you verbatim. I haven't read it yet, but I'm anxious to read it. 233,000 views, and this was just posted yesterday. Here's what he wrote. Makes me sad. In 2025, credit card debt is at all-time highs. U.S. debt is at all-time highs. Unemployment is rising. 401ks are losing. Pensions are being stolen. USA may be heading for a greater depression. I get sad because, as I stated in an earlier X tweet, I warned people this chaos was coming. In Rich Dad's Prophecy, a book about the coming biggest stock market crash in history that is here now. In fact, in most of my books, such as The Fake, Who Stole My Pension, and even Rich Dad Poor Dad, warned of a coming financial disaster. Facts. People who heeded my warnings are doing well today. I am concerned for those who did not. The good news is you can still do something and maybe even get rich, very rich. And as those of you who follow my X posts, I often end with buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. And some of you have complained I repeat the same advice over and over. I repeat that advice today. Good. Repetition's the mother of all skill, as a wise man once said. For those who take action today when the crash crashes, those who invest in just one Bitcoin or some gold or silver, you may come through this crisis a very rich person. It is not too late if you take action. But if you wait, it may be too late after the giant crash. As I stated in an earlier tweet, people who are poor because they speak and think poor words. Words such as, I can't afford it, I'll try, or I'll wait. And that tweet quoted from lessons I learned in Sunday school. And the word became flesh. Can I get an amen? Simply said, poor people speak poorly about themselves. Very true. If a poor person bought a few ounces of gold or silver or 1/2 of a Bitcoin, I predict they may become the new rich once this depression is over. I strongly believe that by the year 2035, that one Bitcoin will be worth over $1 million. Gold will be 30,000 and a silver will be 3,000 a coin. Now let's rehash his prediction. He strongly believes by the year 2035, which is a decade from now, 10 years, that one single Bitcoin will be worth 1 million per coin, which is practically a 12x from the current price action. And he says gold will be 30,000. He must be referring to an ounce of gold, which is currently trading at around 3,300. So he ultimately thinks gold will 10x and Bitcoin will just over 10x, potentially 12x, considering we're in the 80 range today. And he says silver will be 3,000 a coin. I don't really know the current silver prices. If you guys can enlighten me, let me know. And out of these three assets, which asset would you choose? Holla. And it'll be the easiest money you ever made, he said. Those who wait in fear may be the biggest losers. Who wants to take the big L? This coming Great Depression will cause millions to be poor. And all by design, may I add. And a few who take action may enjoy great wealth and freedom. Amen. The giant crash I predicted, the crash that is occurring right now, may be the opportunity of your lifetime to achieve great wealth and, more importantly, financial freedom. Please don't waste this giant crash. Study, learn, create a plan, and take action. Take care, and best of luck. Well said. That was said so well. I'm not even going to read into any more. I mean, excellent post, very to the point. He ultimately sees these assets soaring approximately 10 to 12x over the course of the next 10 years. Do you agree with Kiyosaki? I think that's rather bearish from my understanding. I personally think, and I genuinely believe in my soul, that by the year 2030, I just cannot see a scenario where Bitcoin is less than $1 million. My personal prediction is by the year 2035, Bitcoin could be 5 million. I mean, for Christ's sake, Bitcoin could theoretically be 1 million this year, even though I don't believe that's the most likely scenario. I'm open to the limitless possibilities, and especially when they turn those money printers on, start printing trillions of dollars, and especially considering all Trump has to do is make an announcement that the United States is going to be purchasing whatever, 1 million, 2, 3, 4, 5 million Bitcoin over the course of the next XYZ years, you know what I mean, or trading our gold certificates and acquiring Bitcoin net neutral strategies for our strategic reserve and the executive order. Do you understand the game theory which is at play? Do you understand the other countries of the world just can't sit back and allow the United States to be the Bitcoin superpower of the world? They're competing. This is something Max Kaiser predicted many years back. He coined it the global hash war, and that's what's taking place in real time. Right now, this is the global hash war. Will the United States become the Bitcoin superpower? Or could it be China? Or could it be Russia? Or could it be the UAE? Yeah, I mean, could it be Canada? Who the freak knows? You guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. Rich Dad Speaks the Truth. Yes, I've been a big fan of Rich Dad since I was a teenager. When I first read his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it's always been one of my favorites, and I've always seen the bigger picture, right? Poor people work for money. Rich people, money works for them, and they think differently about money. It's a mind shift, right? That's all it is. Shift your mind. Poor people are generally poor because they have a poor belief system. And their reality is a reflection of their best thinking. I'm going to repeat that. Your current reality is a reflection of your best thinking. And as soon as you can take responsibility for that, you can change your thinking to manifest what you want to manifest, because that's why we're here. Michael Saylor, yeah, he's the Bitcoin alchemist, but so are you, meaning you are a Bitcoin alchemist. You could acquire Bitcoin through various ways, but it all starts with thinking it's possible and believing, right? Because if you believe and think something's possible, I'm promising you, God's going to open up many doors in your life, maybe even close old doors and share with you new opportunities, kind of like Pandora's box. You'll have infinite possibilities, but it all starts with faith. You know what I mean? And if you read the Bible just a little bit, some paraphrasing, "O thee with little faith," right? Jesus said something along the lines that you'll be able to, with faith, you'll be able to achieve miracles even greater than his. And I genuinely believe that, right? So Bitcoin is that miracle. TikTok next block every 10 minutes for the past 16 years. Network has never gone down. It's now stronger than it's ever been. We just recently hit a new all-time high hash rate. And what does that mean? The network is more secure than ever. So there you have it. This is the least risky time to invest in Bitcoin because it's already established. It already has nation state adoption, statewide adoption, game theory in play, institutional adoption. Everyone is talking about Bitcoin. Anyone with any level of wealth is already in Bitcoin or, figuring out how to get their hands on more Bitcoin. The top companies in the world are figuring out how to embrace Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't even been introduced to the Magnificent Seven yet. What's going to happen when every major company has Bitcoin on the balance sheet? GameStop, probably next, right? What about when Microsoft comes along? Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Walmart, major retailers all across the world, right? Game changer. So you guys already know. And again, all it could take is one announcement from Trump. The United States plans to purchase 5 million. How they're going to do it, it doesn't matter. Jesus will show Trump the way, right? A lot of you guys, it's impossible. You can't do it, JV. Well, let him believe it's possible and we'll figure the shit out. How much fucking gold do we got to dump and offload for the Bitcoin? How many dollars do we got to print? Call J-Pal up right now, Trump. Print some motherfucking fiat. We're buying Bitcoin, bitches. Game on. Like motherfucking Donkey Kong in this bitch. Most people are poor because they spend all their money that they get in their accounts. They think they need everything. Most of those needs are actually wants and could do without. That is a absolute fact. Very well said. Very well said. Find a good gold shop near you. Darth Jewelry Place may be ripping you off. You always get a second opinion if you're looking to sell or trade your precious metals or something like that. You never want to really get less than the market value is going for, but you can look all that up. It's easy to find out, a reasonable rate if you know what the weight is, and you can purchase a little scale or something like that. I think gold is right now at an all-time high. Correct me if I'm wrong, broskies, but I'm assuming 3,300 an ounce for a troy ounce for gold. Gold is at a high. We got the creepy fog here. Oh, snap. Not that. Don't breathe that shit in. When the creepy fog appeared in northwest Arkansas, Chandy got very ill. And I think the Oracle did as well in North Carolina. Compare that with the place of Canada. Banks charge almost twice as much as them for the silver or the gold. Damn you banksters. Unacceptable. I'm calling you out. I'm taking you down. But anyways, fam, welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the stream. I'm going to stick around for like another half hour, chillax. We'll jam out to some Chandy jams. Gold jewelry is super expensive. I have 3 chains, so that's a plus. Did that for a while too. It's a fun hobby. Good for you. The Fog, great movie. There's a literally movie out of it. The 3rd rules of spending for the bills, 1/3 for savings. Word. You are right, though. The poor mindset spends every dime they save, and they're incapable of saving. So for the average poor person, it's hard to hold Bitcoin. That's probably why it's so difficult for them to become a long-term hodler. It's just too difficult for them. My father used to tell me when I was like 6 or 7 and I get allowance, and he's like, I'd always like spend my money on like candy or whatever the fuck I wanted, CD, cassette tape, and he's like, whenever we give you money, it's like it's burning a hole in your pocket. Learn to save. And as I got older, I became a saver. And saving is a skill set. The average person is like incapable of saving. But if you can develop the discipline of saving mixed with the technology of Bitcoin, you're a fucking legend. I guarantee that. Because that's it. patience, sage-like, hodl, savings. The ultimate savings technology to ever exist, right? Hodl in the greatest technology. Bitcoin, prices go up forever, Laura, right? Those people don't understand that Bitcoin is mathematically guaranteed to continue to increase your purchasing power just as it has been doing fantastically over the past 16 years. Fiat, complete opposite guarantee. You're guaranteed to lose your purchasing power. And a great visual for that is that meme where it shows you real estate, the average price of real estate over the past like 4, 8, 12 years, and then compare that to Bitcoin. Those same houses that were once 500 Bitcoin can now be purchased for just a few Bitcoin. And in a few years from now, you'll be able to buy your dream home with 1 Bitcoin or less. And then eventually, down the road, obviously, there will be a time where you can buy your dream home for 0.1 Bitcoin, and it may be 5 million USD fiat monopoly dollars. That's the direction we're headed. You know what I mean? JB, if you haven't seen The Fog, I'm disappointed. It's the best horror. Well, here's the deal. Last horror movie I watched, I was probably Friday the 13th or It, Stephen King's It, or Cujo. When I was a kid, I despise horror movies. I don't believe in them because they make you scared. I just don't understand why people pay money to watch them. I just can't figure that shit out. But yeah, I'm not into the horror films, so that's probably why I've never heard of it. You know what I mean? So movie-wise, I've seen every kung fu film on the planet, dating back to before my birth in the 70s with Shaw Brother films. I've seen every mafia film. I'm Italian, so we grew up watching mafia films. In fact, the only time we sat together as a family, united, was when The Sopranos came on. The whole family got together and we watched. Yeah, I mean, for 5 seasons or whatever it was. And that's about it. Mafia movies and kung fu, that's my expertise. Outside of that, I don't know a damn thing about a damn thing of these horror films. You feel me? Yeah, I remember Cujo. I hate Cujo. Hilarious. What do you think? Why do you think Amari has Bitcoin? She lives by the third's rules. Well, she has a very intelligent, good mother, and you taught her very well. Shout out Amari. This gong strike is for you, sis. The Human Centipede. Enter the Dragon, best martial arts film by far. If you just want to see one guy kick everyone's ass, absolutely. Bruce Lee for the win. Speaking of Bruce Lee, he got a message for you today.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
You put the biddy into the cup, it becomes the cup. You put the biddy into the kettle, it becomes the kettle. Now, biddy can flow or crash. Be biddy, my friend. No diddy.
Now you put water into a cup.
Yeah, Ip Man. Those are epic. Great. I think Donnie Yen played Ip Man, right? Classics. I love all the martial arts films. Fist of Legend is fantastic remake of Fist of Fury that Jet Li did in honor of Bruce Lee. That's a fantastic one where he just whoops everyone's ass as well. Yeah, I mean, a couple of my favorite classic martial arts films, outside the obvious, which everyone know, Enter the Dragon, 5 Deadly Venoms. Shaolin Master Killer. Man, that's such a good movie. I used to love Shaolin Master Killer. I don't know how many times I've watched that one. You know what I mean? And Shaolin versus Wu-Tang. Woo! Phenomenal. Shout out Shinkuguki. We are early to the normies. Damn right we're early. This gong strike is for you, brother. I greatly appreciate the super. It keeps the show a-moving. Another one of my favorites that comes to mind, the original Drunken Master with Jackie Chan. Like, I love the old school ones where Jackie Chan was still a teenager and Jet Li was still a teenager, like Shaolin Temple. The old school ones. Even fucking Drunken Master 2 is classic. Many years after. But the original one, I love the training scenes at the Shaolin Temple. It's unmatched. There's nothing that comes closer or better than more motivational and inspirational than watching a Shaolin monk being trained at the Shaolin Temple. Hence why I love Shaolin Master Killer. You know what I mean? The reason we have the biddy is that we are smarter than the average person. Precisely. If you're a Bitcoiner, your IQ, your intelligence is way up there. Guaranteed. Police Story 2. Yeah, those are classics as well. I like Chow. Was that Raymond? Oh, The Crow. That's what Brandon Lee, bro. Rest in peace, Brandon Lee. Obviously, unfortunately, they just like what happened in the film with who's the guy? Baldwin. A blank went out, but we all know that was probably a hit, more than likely, I would assume. They, for some reason, wanted to wipe out the Lee bloodline. I believe his daughter's still alive. Can someone look up that? I think Shannon is still going strong, but I don't know if Linda Lee is still alive, Bruce Lee's wife, and obviously the son is no longer alive, Brandon, but maybe Shannon Lee is still doing good. Beautiful Miss Lee. Leroy, that's, what was that one called? Bruce Leroy. Yeah, that's a classic as well, with Shonuff. That was like Legend of the Dragon or something like that. The Last Dragon. Yeah, that was The Last Dragon. That's a classic. I've seen that like 10 dozen times as well, if that's a number. I don't know. 1977 movie Martial Arts, 42nd Street, New York. Crazy time. Rats in the theater. Well, it's not New York without the rats in the theater. True martial artists never have to prove it. Baldwin got his own reality show as the punishment. Yeah, probably in my opinion, probably some humiliation ritual and probably a planned hit. Hollywood is very sick and dark. I don't put that past them, broskies. But sad, I think Baldwin should have fucking at least went to jail and did some time. Whether you accidentally kill someone, if you're the one pointing the gun at the human being and there happens to be a bullet, I don't care if it allegedly is supposed to have been checked by whoever checks the guns in the movie sets. The reality is you pulled the trigger and you killed someone point blank. No consequence. No, I take that back. Your consequence is you get a reality show. Like, come on now. Had to be some sort of sick satanic ritual, in my opinion. You have to have some Bitcoin, then there will be a greater separation between the rich and the poor. Just look at the BlackRock and the DJT. She's still alive, JV. She is the chairman of the Bruce Lee Foundation. Well, shout out Shannon Lee. This gong strike is for you for keeping the Lee legacy bloodline alive. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, my buddies Wing Chun Sifu was a drunken master. I practice drunken kung fu myself. What? Yeah, I mean, so watch out. You start seeing me, you think JV's drunk? Nah, that's just my drunken style. Watch out, you've been warned. But yeah, those are classics as well. Personally, I was a big fan of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I was a teenager when that came out. I was studying Kung Fu at that time at the Kung Fu school, and I recall watching that film with my Kung Fu brothers. We refer to as Sihings, your older Kung Fu brother. But classic. That's with Li Mubai, the Legend of the Green Destiny. And of course, that was played by, what's his name? Michelle Yeoh was the older woman, the younger woman that played the princess. I forget their names now. Shit, they'll come to me when I stop thinking about it. Ong Bak, Next Level. That dude did all his own stunts. That's a legendary film as well. Next Level, bro. I have my own humiliation ritual every morning. I look in the mirror each week. I put off having a haircut. Hey, can't get more humiliated. Whoever doesn't buy the biddy now is going to slowly drown or cook the frog in the pot. Never put the frog in the pot. I was watching a weird Chinese martial arts film. It had a chicken master. The Rooster Dragon style. I wonder how they did that kung fu. The chicken, like pecking. It'd be interesting. But yeah, the kung fu flicks, so classic. There's nothing like it. And especially when they were dubbed so horribly, it was like whatever they said, you see the mouth move after. It's like, brother, how dare you? Brother, how dare you? You know what I mean? Nothing like it. Is it still 2 weeks till the banana zone? Are you trying to say we're living in a banana republic? Jackie Chan, yeah. Old school drunken master. Tell me that's not one of the best films. I still remember the training sequences because I implemented them into my daily workouts. Remember when he's strengthening his wrist? Because to do the drunken style, you strike like that. Your wrists need to be strong or you break your wrist. Remember he's doing push-ups and then the old drunken guy is with the thing and then he has to basically land on the wrist I started doing wrist push-ups because of that film. Another thing, remember when he's upside down doing upside down sit-ups? Well, why do you think I got this bad boy? I can do upside down sit-ups. Remember he has to take those little cups of the flagons of the water or the wine, and then he has to fill them up, and he has to keep doing fucking sit-ups until you can't move? My biggest inspiration as a child was these Kung Fu films. It allowed me to have extreme discipline and work hard. You know what I mean? And those attributes have paid off royally in all aspects of my life. So I'm very grateful for films like The Drunken Master. You know, Jackie Chan is a legend. They're the greats. That was hilarious since Kung Fu Fighters in 97. I like the Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, now we're talking. Classic. Yeah, there's nothing like Kung Fu films. It's hard to find, but funny and crazy cool stunts. Yeah, man. It's a good one. But I love drunken style boxing. It's fun. It's a cool technique. Now I remember the one-arm boxer. 1970, was that 77? The Drunken Fighter was done with Jackie Chan. All men do the wrist workouts. Well, I was inspired by Jackie Chan. That's when I started doing them. I have extremely strong wrists. I used to strike my punching bag in that style because I studied praying mantis kung fu. And this was like, we do a lot of chops and pull, a very defensive style, you know what I mean? But also we'd strike with our wrist. Long forearm strikes and a lot of wrist striking. So I would always spend, an hour a day hitting the bag, and I'd always strike with my fingers because I also studied iron fingers. So I have very strong fingers, and I can do push-ups on, like one-handed on 2 fingers. Not many, maybe 1 or 2. But I always do push-ups on my fingers. I do wrist push-ups, a lot of stuff inspired, from martial arts. So I may be very little, but my hands are very strong, like lead. Nippinator's out of the room. No, he's not down for the count. He's down for the cause, never down for the count. Get it straight. Don't spread that FUD on Nipsey's name, please. Down for the cause, never down for the count. The anesthesia is still affecting me. I meant the one-armed Kung Fu master. Praying mantis versus the crane versus the tiger. Beer. Yeah, so in Shaolin, there were the 5 main animal styles, but there's also others. So you got like tiger style, the praying mantis, always my favorite. Naturally, that's why I studied. And, snake style, a lot of finger jabs, like Shaolin finger jab. You jab the throat or the eyes or, vital pressure points and things of that nature. You got the drunken boxing. And, of course, you remember the 5 Deadly Venoms. A really cool film. Of course, the monkey style is fascinating, and that's kind of like a branch of the drunken monk. Nippinator getting some sleep before the WrestleMania. Yeah, he's competing in WrestleMania this year. I think he's going to win the title. I think Logan Paul can't hold Nippinator's jockstrap. Like literally, Nippinator got the biggest balls or gonads you're going to find. Logan Paul just can't compete. Can't compete. Strong fingers, eh? That's okay. You look like a fucking worm with braids. Leaders of the free world rookies. Looky. How can beep? Eminem. 8 Mile, baby. I broke my forearm striking once. Your forearm broke? My sensei made me work out with a broken arm because I was very good at striking with my left arm until the right arm. Yeah, your Kung Fu teachers, Sifus, will never allow any excuse. It doesn't matter if you broke your leg, you're still training. They'd be like, no excuse to not do your horse dances, JV. I'd be like, what? But yeah, so in my Kung Fu school, if you showed consistency and hard work after a couple of years, you get to learn something special. And for me, my special weapon was spear. It was a very advanced weapon. I got to learn, and I competed in a lot of tournaments with my spear technique. I'm very good with a bow staff and a spear. And another broadsword I'm really good with, and cane as well. We learned cane. And but anyways, I learned iron finger training. The choices were iron finger or iron palm. Iron palm, my Kung Fu teacher was a master of iron palm. He can drop his palm at like a pressure point around your shoulders. He did it once as just like an experiment, like to show in the class. And the person who volunteered instantly peed his pants when it got like, because it's just crazy how much power and force when you're hitting the, a vital point. But anyways, I decided to do the iron finger training because it fascinated me. And that's what I studied. And in order to train for that for 6 months, every single day, I had a customized, basically like a bean bag with BBs in it. Very heavy, like a 5-pound bag, nothing but BBs in it, like a hand-stitched like bag. And I'd throw it up in a horse stance, strike, catch it. And important with the breathing. So like inhale. Yeah, and then just switch, and do that every single day for 6 months while being abstinent, in the sense, no sex or, none of that stuff. And what it allows you to do is cultivate your chi, which is your vital energy. And that has transformed my life as well, because it allows me to tap in, open my chakras at will, because I put in that work, that consistency. So breathing mixed with the training and the proper movement. And also you got to have the right Chinese medicine for the nerves of your hands as well. I don't remember what it was all called, but you had to like soak your hand in something every day as well, certain medicines, so that it can become stronger and stronger, more like calloused, so that then, you get injured. And that's how people are able to like break bats and stuff like that. I love spear, bow, and sword. I carry them all the time. Gangster. Most people don't realize anything can be a weapon. Exactly why I love the cane, because it's so common. You can walk around with it anywhere. And if you know how to use a cane, good luck. JV Lung, iron palm, trying on the bags, the split peas. Yeah, split peas work as well. We were using BBs. It's even harder. But same concept. My Kung Fu teacher used to do the iron palm training in class every day, like after the class. And he'd have phenomenal, obviously, horse stances. It's very leg intensive when you're doing iron finger or iron palm training. And then, yeah, his palm, pop, and then switch the other one. It's pretty impressive. Did you punch your fingers in sand or rice? No, I was using, that's another technique though they do use. You can they do that in the Shaolin Kung Fu films. I just used the bag that was created for me by my Kung Fu teacher, which was a bag of BBs. And I used that, so every time I strike, it's like palm and finger. And I would do a lot of push-ups on my fingers, and I'd also strike, with my fingers, like snake style. It was just fun. I still do it just because it's fun. For me, it's playing. Like martial arts to me is play. I like to play. But yeah, anyways. Jet Li the One, classic. Love Jet Li. They use the iron palm to rip out a guy's heart. Well, there's something called Din Mok, which is the touch of death. My Qigong, which is my Sifu, is famous for the Din Mok. Look up Poi Chan, Grandmaster Chan. I don't know if he's still alive because it's been a hot minute, but he used to live in Orlando, and he had the Walloon Temple, and he's from China. Little man, maybe 90 pounds, but has the power to literally stick his fingers through your heart and like kill someone with his fingers. Literally. Yeah. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Hui! The technique is called, yeah, that's the one, brother. The Din Mok. And also there's pressure point fighting. If you really know what you're doing, you can strike strategic pressure points that literally cripple somebody. But in order to do that style of fighting, you also got to learn how to counteract it to fix it. So you can literally paralyze someone's arm, and then you know what to press to unparalyze it. And that's why my Kung Fu teacher told me, if you want to master the higher level arts, you have to also be a doctor, or he wouldn't teach it to you. Like you had to actually study acupressure and things of this nature. That's what inspired me to learn Chinese medicine. I was going to school to become an acupuncturist and do, traditional Chinese medicine, because I wanted to be able to heal people, not just learn how to hurt them, because we're only learning it in self-defense, right? So we also got to know how to counter it. Didn't they do that in Kill Bill? Probably. It's been a hot minute since I've seen it. Sounds as small as my master? Nice. Whoa, this has been enlightening. Thank you. You're welcome, Moon Girl. Krav Maga uses those techniques. Broskies, we got to buy the biddy now. Did you guys see that, BitBoy, he could be facing up to 10 years in prison for harassing a judge. A little pro tip, broskies, if you're going through a lawsuit, especially a family lawsuit or family suit, don't throw the judge under the bus publicly or humiliate them or harass them. You may get 10 years in jail. And that's what BitBoy could be facing, FYI, just for that one crime. You know what I mean? Acupuncture is real. The ancient I fell in love with acupuncture because anytime I was ever sick as a kid and went to a doctor, the doctor, traditional doctor, never was able to solve my problem. So I learned at a very young age that the Western medicine was bullshit. And I saw right through the bullshit at an early age because I picked up some books on acupressure, which I still own. And I would learn how to solve any issue or thing I was dealing with naturally by hitting pressure points. And so I became fascinated with acupuncture. You know, my best friend does acupuncture and all that kind of stuff. But 5 fingers of death punch, bro. I punched the trees for years just to harden up. A long time ago, I hit the bag in my basement. That's what's up. And did it, and it hurt. Acupuncture is real. The ancient Chinese, over 200 pressure points in the ear. Exactly. The foot has a tremendous amount of pressure points. That's why they often do the acupressure. They'll spend an hour on your feet, and you get a traditional Chinese massage. Same thing with the ears. I recall pronouncing ear in Mandarin is ardua because I used to have to tell the masseuse, focus on the ear. It was my favorite part of the massage. They'd stick their hands all up in your ears. It's like, oh my God, this is incredible. But I'd be like, spend more time in the arduas. Come on, baby. Game on. They consider the vega, the brachia, the median, and the funny bone all nerves that are not protected by the bone or the muscle. Word. I need to get a streamer for my hats? A steamer. What do you mean? Are they, what does this, to clean them, or are they wrinkled, or what's your intention there? That's so sad about BitBoy. He actually is a Christian here from Atlanta. No, very sad. I mean, he made his demise public and kind of off the rails, kind of dug his own hole, ranting and talking nonsense. I mean, can't be doing that online. I found the perfect money. Pretty little bitty's going up forever, Laura. Amen, broskies. Amen. Rainy and gloomy day here in Puerto Rico. Still raining. Jeez Louise. Where's the sun, Nippany? Been raining all day. But yo, I gotta piss like a one-legged racehorse right now. So let me play a song. I'll be right back. Let's play one of Chandy's new jams. It's called Bitcoin Army. Enjoy. I'll be right back. He's probably in jail right now, I would assume, Adam. Or if he got out on bail, which I don't know if he did, then he's facing some very serious charges, as I just mentioned. So I'll be right back, broskies.
Attention, Bitcoin Army, listen up. Huddle gang, rise up. We go left, 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 right, left. Bitcoin is the IQ test. They bound us in chains, we broke them with blocks. Ghosts of Satoshi pop the locks. Bitcoin goes going, 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 going.
From backwards to high rise, we found the flame. Mountain cities, tiny towns, forged together we're the orange race.
I'm a member of the Huddle gang in the Bitcoin Army.
A bull stacking sats, guarding calmly. Orange pilled, wearing bitty camel swagger. Roller coaster junkie with a BTC dagger. Came from the silence, woods knew my name.
Cabin on the edge, owls call me to my claim. Quartz in the rock, fire in my chest. Left, 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 right, left.
They can't decode what the spirit encrypted. No backdoor hack, no keys getting lifted. Guard in the flame, can't break what's real. Bitcoin is truth, it's the winning hand, the real deal.
Dying, dying, Bitcoin Army pushes BTC.
We're the Huddle gang, we rise, we ride. Bitcoin Army, walk with pride. One by one while the fiat crawls. March with fire, never stall.
One truth, one chain, we answer the call. Stacking sats with every breath. Left, 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 right, left.
to use our own money. We're bunkered down and ready when the system wants to FUD me.
Decentral mind can't trace this route. Even NSA can't figure me out.
They hedge with noise.
Strange, the chat. I just got to refresh that. Give it a sec. It'll refresh. It's crazy, though. The second I got up, it did that. What's going on? I'm back. Nippinator watching over The Office. Damn right. Nippinator's like a young Jackie Chan in this bitch. I dare you to fuck with him. Double dog dare you. Here's the link to watch the Bitcoin Army song with the video visualizer. And that's the song we're playing just now. Shout out Chandy 10.
We answer facts while they chase pumps. We don't relax. We play chess like royalty. We're not pawns. Dragons light in the sky, orange in the digital dawn.
We never flinch.
And again, those just joining us, this is the Q&A segment of the daily live stream. Feel free to drop comments. The comment stream is, or this, the source for the comments is coming from cryptonewsalerts.net if you want to participate, which I encourage you guys to do, which is, again, cryptonewsalerts.net, direct link to the YouTube channel. Wow, it's crazy looking at my screen without glasses because for the past, 2 or 3 months, even when I'm prepping the show, I got my sunglasses on. So I haven't looked at this big-ass bright IMAX screen directly without my protection in literally months. And it's almost like crazy. Whoa. I think I'm going to keep the shades on. I like it with the shades. But anyways, what's the name of the done that goes biddy up? Oh, the song that goes biddy up, babe. That's called Stackin' Sats. Yeah, I mean, we play that typically every day, at least a couple verses from it. It's one of my favorite songs. Biddy up, babe, bang, bang on the door. Don't you ever let, I mean, the HODL House. And you can see that it's already getting grainy on the screen because it's the natural lighting is the sun's going down and there's nothing but clouds and rain outside. So, and reminder, we will be streaming tomorrow on Easter Sunday. So I will be here at 4 p.m. Make note of it. We'll have a fantastic show. Chandy, did you really close out your YouTube channel? We used to refer everyone there. Diana has a question there for Chandy. Chandy, you make such nice music. It's like ear therapy. Well said.
This isn't a dream, no need to be pinched.
Rooster struts, dragon roars. Wolf wants in, owl keeps score. We see the grid and we don't forget.
Left, 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 right.
Dun 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 dun. Bitty soldiers march forward, up and down. Never gonna sell, we don't sell out, have no doubt.
JV's showing his pretty eyes. They look green today. Yeah, I guess theoretically my eyes are considered hazel, which means they could sometimes be brown, sometimes green. And apparently today they're green. Thank you. Back to our regular scheduled program.
That's a Roger out.
Thanks for the reminder, Streamlabs. If you don't subscribe to the channel, unfortunately, you're not like us. You're like Drake, and you could be a PDF file. Sorry.
What are your thoughts when facing an opponent?
There is no opponent.
And why is that?
Because the word I does not exist.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, and good point there. Biddy up, Roger out.
So, continue.
A good fight should be like a small play, but played seriously.
Some wisdom from the ancients right here. Straight from the Shaolin Temple.
A good martial artist does not become tense, but ready. Not thinking, yet not dreaming.
And for those that didn't know, Bruce Lee was first and foremost a philosophy major. That's what he studied. I believe it was in Seattle. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bruce Lee historians. But Bruce Lee was one of my biggest role models growing up. So anything he did, I was into and that kind of stuff.
ready for whatever may come. When the opponent expands, I contract. When it contracts, I expand. And when there is an opportunity,
I don't hit. It hits all by itself. Tell him, Mr. Lee.
I do not hit. It hits all by itself.
Ultimately meaning that through repetition, which is the mother of all skill, your unconscious does it automatically. There's no thinking. Thinking slows you down. When you're in the flow, if you're in a fight and you're thinking, you lost, right? But when you're in the moment, the flow, let the unconscious do and guide you. If you're prepared and you've been training, you should be able to tap into that. And that's martial arts at the highest levels. There's no thinking. It's just automatic. It's like a chess match. When you're playing a blitz game, the moment you start thinking too deeply, you'll fall behind on time. You'll get squished. But you should unconsciously just know what to do through repetition. You know what I mean? But anyways, it's the art of fighting without fighting. Great. And that was actually demonstrated in Enter the Dragon on the boat scene, which I'm sure every broski remembers. I don't know how much the ladies are into the martial arts. I know some of you are, obviously, the Oracle, and maybe some others. But yeah, so on that boat, there was a bully. And they were bullying the poor Chinese people that didn't know any martial arts. And this was like just a bully martial artist that was about to go to the island to compete, which Bruce Lee was going to the same island to compete. You know what I mean? The guy ended up being like a drug lord type guy. But long story short, the poor Chinese man was being bullied, and Bruce Lee wanted to teach the bully a lesson. So he's like, let's go to this. They're on a boat, and they're like, let's go to this island so I can demonstrate. You know what I mean? And Bruce Lee outthought him, and he got him on this little, I think they're called junks, which are little small boats hanging off the back of the main boat they were on. And that bully thought they were going to go to the island and Bruce Lee was going to demonstrate something. But Bruce Lee just wanted to teach him a lesson. And so the lesson was the art of fighting without fighting. He defeated his opponent without lifting a finger. And then he allowed the person who was being bullied to like hold the rope as the other guy was panicking the entire trip. So that's the art of fighting without fighting. And this is something my Sifu used to teach us a lot, because true martial arts is always in self-defense, never to be a bully. So, you know what I mean? Chandy, my YouTube, same shorts get more viewed, rather people to watch the long videos. 86 tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, maybe we'll continue this pump. Biddy up, Roger out. So yeah, as an established martial artist, even if someone were to pick a fight with you, if you have the option to walk away, that's a victory. That's the art of fighting without fighting. But if you're forced to fight because there's no other alternative, you stand up and you teach them a lesson. But the highest form of martial arts is not fighting. And that's the philosophy. Let me know if that resonates with anyone. The art of fighting without fighting. Link to Stacking Sats, like it's Max and Stacy. I'm stacking sats because the tax is crazy. I'm stacking sats because the IMF hates me. I'm stacking sats because the haters don't face me. Good track, by the way. They not like us. We not like them. Broskies.
This way, no one to hold 'em. Yeah, we're holding, never folding.
Bitcoin glow, stack it up, let it show. Price discovery, patience, game on, let's go.
Biddy up, Roger out. We're
Changing the world, there's no doubt.
Game on. Let me check the X feed again, family. Welcome everyone joining the live stream. Damn, 17 posts. Keep it going with the repost. Shout out Chandy10. Obviously, the new song, the latest music videos, Can't Tariff Bitcoin. If you guys can repost that, let's get some more views to it. Shout out Sergio. Appreciate the repost, brother. Doggone it. My dog sent me back when she did this, but I started over. It happens to the best of the hodlers. Shout out Paper. Shout out Glenn Cooper. Appreciate the support, broski. And welcome and happy Stacking Saturday. Dr. Black Swan in the building. Shout out Freddie. What up, JV? What up, broski? What it do? And am I missing anyone here? Panda the Prophet. Cheers, brother. Just hit you with a repost. I think I literally got everyone reposted. Is the power back on? Do you have solar power generator? Power is back up, Freddie. I'm a slack-a-lack, and I don't have the generator or the solar. However, virtually every neighbor in my community does. So I have to tap into their resources whenever I go black here in Puerto Rico. But eventually I will absolutely get probably a solar panel set up. But keep in mind, cloudy days like this, solar don't mean shit. You need sunshine. And it's like sometimes cloudy virtually every day. You just never know. So I'm debating solar versus generator. Solar is obviously got its benefits, but the downside is if it's always cloudy, you're not going to be able to gather the energy for when you need it. So you got to keep that in mind. I have some neighbors, they have the Tesla solar panel batteries and stuff. And I always like, so was it a good, because it's not cheap. It's like maybe 60 grand or something to get solar for this size house with like all the costs associated with it. So I said, are you happy you got those, the solar generated? And one of the neighbors like, no, it was way overpriced considering I don't really save that much. Though it's sunshine sometimes, due to it so rainy and cloudy, we don't get the maximum, So I was like, oh, that guy's not happy with his purchase. So think about it. So I was in no rush to get it done. Okay, now hear this. Hold the helm and the quarterback. Repel the borders. I have a mission regarding to the meet. Enjoy the weekend and hit the like on your way out. This is the best pod to ever exist. Nippinator's going wild. Couldn't have said it better, Greg. Couldn't have said it better. But yeah, that is true, Fairground. There's an audience of people who have very short term, what's the term? Very short attention span. And they prefer the shorts. You know what I mean? And then there's others, when they watch YouTube like JV, I like long shit. If it's not at least 10 minutes, I refuse to put it on because I want to be occupied for at least 10 minutes while I'm doing something, watching something in the background. I hate shorts, personally. Like, I don't even wear shorts. I'm naked. Well, today I'm wearing shorts. I take that back. But usually I'm naked. But I prefer the long format videos. I like hour-long videos, 2 hours. That's why I have a 2-hour podcast. It's just what I prefer. But there is definitely, especially the younger population, they have no attention span whatsoever. And they can only watch 10-second shorts, 20-second shorts. And shorts is a great way to tap into another audience. I was doing shorts very religiously for like a year. Definitely helped the audience grow a lot on the channel. But at the same time, it was a lot of work. So I had to pick my battle wisely. And for this channel, it's long content format. We do the 2-hour live stream every day, and then we do the premiere, which is the condensed, edited down version, which is 30 minutes. So virtually everything on this channel is 2 hours or 30 minutes. But we do have a lot of shorts from years and years ago. But a couple of years back, we created a secondary channel, which is clips.cryptonewsalerts.net, which is specifically for short format content, shorts, and etc. You know what I mean? If you don't know, now you know. I like the long videos. You're like You're like us. You said you usually wear your Ralph. Yeah, I have my boxers on, but today I have shorts on because I just got back from the barber shop, and it's not a good look to travel or go outside in your boxers. You know what I mean? Live streaming is a different story. So you caught me with actual shorts on today. I didn't notice. Was glad you had some shorts on. Yeah, and you probably wouldn't notice because the Ralph Lauren boxers almost look like shorts. Like, I bet you most people wouldn't know the difference, except the fact it's mad short. I would never rock shorts that only cover half my leg. But, yeah, man, here's what it is. I think the other day I took Nippinator for a walk, and I was too lazy to put actual shorts on, and I was just roaming my neighborhood in boxers. But, it depends how I feel. I don't know that I have long attention span on everything, but when it comes to YouTube or TV, I can't handle having to flip it. Yeah, I don't like having to flip it every 10 seconds. The kids, like, they're used to it. Like, that drives me crazy because oftentimes when I'm watching something in the background, I'm trying to reduce direct screen exposure where I'm not directly looking at the screen or touching it. So if I can play something in the background as I'm cooking, doing the dishes, doing my chores, stretching, working out, I like to keep myself entertained in the background with long content, long format. The longer, the better. Let's bring back 4-hour podcasts. Let's make 4-hour pods great again. What do you say? Yay, nay, hey? Too much work to get through, not the good ones. Chandy, yep, same as me, says Fairground. Excuse me. But anyways, fam, I greatly appreciate y'all tuned in today. Make it a fantastical holiday, and I will be here on Easter Sunday. That's a fact, Jack. Many blessings on blessings on blessings. Happy Easter, and may the Christ consciousness be with each and every one of you. We'll end it with the gong strike. This gong strike's for you. Happy birthday, Jesus. Did someone say 80 G's?